Good Sunday morning. We got some snow over here, and uh, about 4 or 5 inches, I think, overnight. And then this morning, it's Sunday the 13th of January, 2019. Um, I want to start off I want to thank the philosopher for subscribing to my channel. He don't know how much that means to me. Thank you very much. Uh, and I got a little more stuff to think about that you might like to think about. And here we go. This is I guess I could call it part 4 to the soul, spirit, consciousness series, I guess. I don't know. I'm not real good at this. Haven't been doing this very long, so took a lot of nerves to even, talk to the phone. At any rate, I'll start off with I think we, me and you, me and the philosopher, we seeing things pretty much the same way, and except for and the way I'm seeing it, flipping the spirit and the soul. The energies are a trinity. The soul being the main energy that lends 2/3 of its energy out to get the wisdom needed to evolve into the next physical plane. So basically, what we got, I'm going to try to make sense here. The spirit and consciousness come together like a marriage when anything living's born, and then the information starts flowing from consciousness to spirit, and so on. So as information is being taken in by a consciousness, it's information. When spirit takes its knowledge, once the soul gets that knowledge, it becomes wisdom. And in the end game, I'm thinking that's what, yeah. Anyway, I want to keep trying to stay focused here. Okay. Well, when we interpret a birth, like I said before, the consciousness and spirit reside. They're both in me right now. I'm alive and breathing, so I have a spirit consciousness marriage inside of me right now. And then, like I said, when I die, that'll be, I have nothing, there's nothing left for the soul to gain from me being in this body I'm in. That I've taken in all I can, so once I'm not useful, my soul is going to put me in something else. So, we keep that ball rolling, So at any rate, we interpret this marriage, though. I look at it as, we interpret it as birth, the marriage between the two, the birth, of a living thing, and then the separation of the two once all the information is gained is death, and that's how we perceive it in when we're alive. But and while I'm on this, I'll go here. Uh, think about this. Yeah, it's like, you know how thoughts run through your head. You can hear your own thoughts. You know what I mean? Somehow, but no one else knows what you're thinking or feeling unless you tell unless you tell them. And that's I'm going to interpret that into this. What a person's feeling, good mood, bad mood, happiness, anger, emotion, sadness, you know, all the emotional side of our feeling would be the consciousness side of the marriage. Okay? And then uh, what a person's thinking, like you sitting there and you have thoughts racing through your head and you're thinking, well, the thinking portion, is the spirit side. That's uh, translated into the thoughts in your head. You're actually listening to a conversation or transfer, information being transferred from one to the other, the marriage within inside you. Does that make sense? I'm hoping so, because it's weird how the video I did before kind of got me thinking down that path a little bit. But the love, hate, sex, pain video, um, how it's the two extremes in both sides of the marriage. The thinking side, you got, the spiritual side, you got the um, sex and pain, or, because, and then the love and hate would be the emotional consciousness. You know, same thing, but anyway. Yeah, so when you're sitting there, just think about that. You're literally listening or hearing or eavesdropping in on a conversation, between two separate entities in the spirit realm. Consciousness giving information to the spirit. Yeah, I just thought I would throw that out there to see what people thought about it. At any rate, with that said, uh, in term like the terms beginning and end, um, you know, uh, I don't think there is a beginning or end. I think that I'm beyond. Um, my mind is beyond this. It's beyond this. My mind goes places that, I mean, it sometimes I don't even know if I'm coming or going with some of the stuff that pops in my head. But anyway, it's definitely not here, and this, I'm here, but I'm not. My thoughts take me, to these places where I get these ideas, and I don't know what to do sometimes. Maybe that's why I started doing these videos for kind of like journals to look back on, so I wouldn't have to write them down. But I'm yeah, it's still up for debate. But Um, I'm gonna try to, do good. I'm gonna make a go of it. I'm gonna try. Um, the beginning and end is two words with for the physical realm, because it's the only realm that has uh, beginning and end stamp date. I mean, biological things that are alive, you know, have a beginning and an end. So those two terms are going to stay here. I mean, they really don't have no meaning to me, really. They don't. I mean, you ever heard of the saying, everything ends badly, or it wouldn't end at all? Well, if you really truly believe that there's not a beginning and an end, then those are two words that, I mean, really, you don't, they're not even in your vocabulary. But free will, it's just like time, it's an illusion. Uh, but then again, that little phrase got me thinking about something. I know you'll get into it, uh, Mr. Philosopher. Um, let's see. Free will. Free will can only go as far as, yeah, that's just a passing thought. Is a spirit created good or evil? Um, Good and evil are constructs that the human mind manufactures to fill in the blanks, so he or she feels they're in control. Well, free will is the root of good and evil. Good and evil's parents, or good and evil is free, one or the other, one or the other. But free will, good and evil is born out of free will, because only humans are can be so terrible. I it makes me sick how some, I ain't afraid to say, I just sit and want to cry sometimes, but by how the world is, man. I I love everybody. I really do. I truly do. And so I get down on myself. What do thinking about what can I do, you know, and I'm just going to start trying to do a little bit, little information. Hopefully it helps. And yeah, um, biological energy, the spirit, will take on whatever. Okay, that's where we thought. So instead of being looking at it good and evil, it's going to you have three separate types the spirit can fall into, and it's just the charges of the physical universe. You got your positive charge, negative charge, and your neutral charge. So the soul is neutral at all times. Okay, it's always neutral, and so when it lends out 2/3 of its energy to the consciousness and the spirit, then that energy is also neutral. But what you got to understand about neutral energy is it can morph into either or. You know what I mean? As long as it finds balance. So the spirit's going to become whatever, and ultimately the consciousness is going to be the first to know whatever that, what it's going to be, because the spirit is really nothing but a transfer of information. You know what I mean? It's the marriage has to exist between the two to get the information. But ultimately, the consciousness is on bottom ground level, you know, and then the spirit's marriage, and then high is your soul. So looking at it in terms of, that way. But yeah, so it's going to take on whatever the charge of that biological or organic object is going to already be what it is when it's born. This marriage just is something that happens when a plant sprouts. Anything alive first comes into existence. This marriage starts right then and there. But so no, I don't believe there's good and evil spirits. I believe that spirits take the form of whatever charge needed to keep balance, because that's one of the soul's main jobs, because the soul's going to send your spirit in whatever he sends it into next, and he's going to have to make sure that it's something that's not going to throw things out of whack. So, throw any rocks in the wheels. Perception is part of the consciousness, so because it's bringing stuff in. Yeah, I believe there are laws that, and the weird thing is, the laws that even though we can't mix energies, we coexist very well. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, there's laws in the physical universe that govern, the macro micro levels, and when a spirit enters something, it knows nothing about size. It knows not conscious until consciousness. Then it starts to understand that I'm, awake or whatnot or whatever. But the laws, I don't know what exactly. I ain't got that far yet, but the laws are set so everything stays in balance, and that's as far as I got. Because balance is very important. It's very, very important. And let's see. All realities and planes, if anything living didn't have its own reality, like we all have our own realities. Well, what I'm trying to say here is, if we didn't all have our own little realities, our own little worlds, then there would be no need for the soul to lend that energy out to go learn anything, because we'd all be the same. And it would just be counterproductive. It's nonsensical. Um, but let's see. Divinity. Divinity is I'm putting it with sovereign because, uh, you know, the more I think about that, um, I I went as far as, you know, I know how to claim my birthright, and I know how to fill out UCC ones, and list shit as collateral. I mean, it's all, it can be done, and you can become sovereign just in the United States of America Union. But man, I can't go there because then I'll end up off of this. Anyway, maybe I need to do some videos on that. I really do. But um, uh, um, n- there's no rankings in spirit world. Everything works so harmonious. Everything is just so balanced that, think of it like being in bliss. I mean, there's no need for higher ranking this or lower ranking that. There's no slavery. Everything just does what it does, nothing more, nothing less. And I mean, could you imagine? I mean, how easy things would be if just if, and I believe that's the way it is, and the laws set by the physical realm that biological have to follow creates this utopia. It's a, yeah. So there's there's just no need for, because everything just works. Have you ever sit and thought about how unbelievably lucky somebody got when everything went, however it went? Because everything works really, really like clockwork. But anyway, uh, how can a spirit be bound by laws? A spirit can be bound by laws because if it, I really don't want to call them laws. I just want to call them, you know, it's a routine that has to be done, or the soul can't reach its goal of evolution. Period. I mean, so, and I think maybe in our subconsciousness somewhere, the soul placed that little bit of information in there saying, hey, this is that important, so don't fuck it up. Yeah. So I don't. Maybe it's nothing making the soul and consciousness, you know, do this or that. It's just it's that important that they don't need nobody to tell them more than once, and it's just bam, it's done. Um, when you have balance, there's nothing higher. Okay, balance is everything. Doing whatever the physical realm laws say spirit consciousness is in the physical realm most of the time. So spirit consciousness is in the physical realm almost all the time. Okay, because as soon as it's done with one marriage, it's going right into another one. Um, okay, everything is energy trying to, transforming and morphing trying to keep balance. That's the reason why just transforms. It can't be destroyed or created, but it can transform. And the reason it can transform is because it has to be able to transform to keep balance. Um, the spirit rank level, no rank level different. Think of the ranking levels, philosopher, as I'm just saying that because I don't know what to do yet. I, I'll find out, I'm sure. Um, the the only different levels I can see is consciousness levels, and that's how many. And that the level of consciousness is defined by how many different ways does that organic object have of sensing its world around it. Like us, we have our five senses, and I know there's something out there that's got way more ways than just five to, you know, it. So, I mean, humans, man, we think we are so. I'm not knocking us, except for the fact that we're the only thing on the planet that doesn't naturally find balance with its environment. We go to an environment and try to force that environment to fit us, and it don't work that way. You're going against the grain, man. You're ice skating uphill. It just don't work out very well. Well, look at it. You just put a human in charge, and I guarantee you, he's going to fuck it up. He's going to fuck it up. Clear up. But where are we at? Bang bang. Okay. We hit the soul was neutral. Um, uh, blah, 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 blah. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, yeah, and the emotions or the consciousness side of the um, um, no, I don't believe that one spirit worships another spirit, or in in that sense, I think that it just merely as simple as once it's the time it's out of an organic body, the spirit and consciousness is just neutral energy, just like the soul, because the soul gave its energy out was neutral to begin with. So it'll go back to being neutral when they, you know, emerge back as one energy to evolve. So, no, there's no worshiping going on. Worship, I'll tell you something about that in a minute. And no spirit force is another. Um, to, if anything forces anything, is the um, the importance of the task at hand for the marriage is what pushes it. That need for wisdom. Um, we live in a multiverse, so God, I guess we could say, for let's just say for shits and giggles, God is the physical realms, and it's inverted. Instead of God being the spiritual everything, we are our biological energy, the soul, spirit, and consciousness is the God, what we've thought the God side all these years, but we've had it wrong, and invert that, and just God is everything physical. You know, every religion pretty much says God is everything. Everything you look at is God. So maybe that's a literal statement. God is the universe. That's pretty damn. People probably gonna think I'm nuts. Um, let's see. Where am I at? 30. I get an hour, I think. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna stop if it cuts off on me. I'm just gonna keep going. Um, Now, soul's purpose. Okay, we'll get some purposes here. Soul governs balance. You know, it makes sure wherever the spirit goes into next is not going to, you know, mess the whole thing up. You can only imagine how delicate this machine is. I mean, uh, soul's purpose is to give up energy to obtain wisdom. You know, soul houses all knowledge that the spirit, you know, brings it. Soul in itself is the key to the next physical realm. Spirit or consciousness can't make that jump without soul to make that jump. All three energies have to merge back to one. And when this happens, evolution takes place and we leave this physical universe into the next one. Uh, the souls is the way in and way out. I mean, yeah. Spirit really is the energy that conscious tells it to be. So, like the soul being the main component or vehicle for evolution, well, the spirit is literally the pure energy that gives birth to consciousness. Is the information of the marriage, and the spirit is the energy. So me right now sitting here, my consciousness is, you know, letting me know, you know, that I'm here. And then it's my spirit telling me, okay, conscious told me I'm here, so the spirit's saying, hey, I got to do something. You know, it's the energy. You know, does that make sense? Um, okay, uh, and it no matter the level of consciousness. Uh, let's see. Level is determined by however many. Oh, here's a consciousness level. I think will is determined by the number, the different numbers. How many different ways an organic object can sense the world around it. You know, so um, yeah. So for we have five senses, so we are level 5 conscious level. I'll try and keep that simple. If you have 7 different ways, you'd be a level 7 consciousness. Um, Us humans have five senses, blah blah blah, the ability to impact. I believe the only thing that varies is the number of ways an organic object can take in information. Maybe object throughout the multiverse. You never know. I mean, shoot, there could be something out there that can take in, have 20 to 30 different ways of taking in information. But the spirit consciousness marriage of a living thing will, the life, the length of life will coincide with the number of ways it can acquire information. They'll be like two parallel lines running together, um, because the one really is connected with the other. So, um, obviously, the less number of ways you have of gaining access to the world around you, the shorter your time's going to be here. Um, this is where, see, I also don't believe that us humans to be the pinnacle of organic objects throughout the universe. I really don't, because I believe the majority of, you know, human, consciousness energy to be negative. People don't, most people care only about themselves and things that could affect themselves. I mean, there's very few human beings that truly care about another human being more than themselves or more than what they can acquire. Um, I'm not trying to be no saint or anything here, but I care more about another person on this planet than I do, you know, anything. I mean, and things won't change in the human mind until people get that and understand that. Everything that they're made to think is important isn't. It's a farce that is placed upon you through the different forms of control, and it starts with the schooling, education, common core and shit that condition your mind. It's a mind conditioning thing, and when you graduate, it's on a mass scale, because it's how many millions of kids graduating have been mind conditioned. I mean, yeah, that's somewhere else too. But anyway, uh, um, the spirit marriage, the spirit conscious marriage only knows anything about terms like sovereign, enslaved, good, evil, you know, perception of time. These are all things that you use while the spirit consciousness marriage life remains intact. I was going to say maybe the only place for such words and meanings, but it is human spirit conscious marriage is the only state of consciousness that is not naturally balanced with its surrounding. other surrounding consciousness married. There's trees, grass, bushes, animals. So, you know, human wants to think of itself separate, but it's not. Sorry to say, people, you're just another consciousness spirit marriage in the grand scheme of this thing, and that's it. You're no different. I mean, why we put ourselves on such a pedestal, I'll never know. I just don't get it. All we're doing, whoever's in charge, is killing everything off. But anyway, there's no need for such terms when everything balanced, each spirit conscious life marriage is doing its purpose, no more, no less. Uh, Removes any reasoning for sovereignty or force or all fade. You could call it bliss. That's what I would say. Where you didn't have to worry, you just went along, and there was nothing pushing you, pulling you. I mean, that piece of that would just be that'd be bliss. That'd be like the first time I have sex, or just bliss in my mind. Um, Everything's connected in one way or another. You are not disconnected from anything biological. Balance cures all, and can't balance, and you can't balance cures all, and you can't have balance without each spirit consciousness marriage, consciousness info relayed to the spirit is knowledge, and then goes to the spirit or soul, which is wisdom. Um, there can be relationship between spirit and consciousness with the birth of living organic objects, so there can't be a separation or death without either. So basically what I'm saying is, I guess a spirit energy marriage is kind of like a cork. I know you know what that is, philosopher. Cork is, on the quantum level, they found that they come in pairs, and when you um, try to force the two apart, well, once you finally get it to split, well, guess what? You got two pair. You cannot split a pair of corks up. But anyway, uh, eventually the spirit consciousness splits up. um, come on, Moose. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm all over the place, but 11, okay. I'm gonna end this with terms and words have no meaning at all, in my opinion. Here they do. I mean, but words like beginning, end, free will, time, good, evil, divine, sovereign, any words with a definition that hovers or supports the word control, by definition, I red flag it right away as a word made up by somebody to, or something, to misinform or disinform. Yeah, to control, to control whatever, So when I hear a word and it's connected to control, yeah, I automatically think, yeah, that was made up at some point because somebody wanted somebody to plow their field, you know. Um, in this physical realm, though, some throughout time here on Earth, there has always been someone that thinks control is the holy grail of this world. Control, control, control. Wow, I got news for them. They're gonna have a rude awakening one of these days. But I must seem crazy. I must seem crazy to most people because I really do care about others. I question why would. Here's one philosopher. I question why would anything want any kind of experience from this place we're in right now. I'm questioning the soul's want for wisdom is what I'm doing. I mean, because all the places it could go, I mean, I know you gotta take the good with the bad, but boy, I would try to, if I was the soul, I would try to keep myself away from this damn place because this place is messed up. The spirit conscious marriage of any living thing will. Okay, I got that. Damn it. Okay, well, I think that's going to be the end of this one. This is a long one. I was just trying to to answer some, give some of my opinions, um, because this gentleman is the philosopher is. Some people can, you talk to some people and you get nothing in return. Well, you, Mr. Philosopher, are very, very good to bounce ideas off of, and you get feedback, and I mean, your thought process expands, and man, props to you, bro. Props to you. You. The only other guy that does it to me is my cousin Aaron. For some reason, I get around him. But yeah. Summary. Um, emotions are the consciousness side of this spirit consciousness marriage. The thinking portion is the thought portion is the spirit, and when you are thinking to yourself, you're actually listening to a data stream or a conversation between consciousness and the spirit. Um, all words and terms merely are for here, not for the other side. And everything on the other side is neutral. Uh, while it's in that side, which is not long, just long enough to evolve. Um, and this here, I got a question, Mr. Philosopher. All the respect in the world to you, man. Thank you for throwing me favor every day. Um, yeah, that when you throw favor out like that, it that is technically a form of caring about, showing somebody that you care about them more, not necessarily more than yourself, but above a lot of other things, So thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, but what food for thought? This is a little different here. I want to know what you think on it. It's what if time actually runs coincide with electromagnetism? Because we've been having all these missing time, and I got to thinking, and it's getting worse. I'm hearing all kind, and it, instead of being an oscillating wave like frequency, what if time is literally flowing within the induction lines of the magnetic, waves throughout the universe? You know, um, that's pretty. That's nuts, ain't it? I mean, electrically, electric has to follow induction lines created by two different polarities. The point they meet and push each other apart or suck each other in, well, that's an induction line. It's like a highway. Well, what if time is warped around, coiled around an induction line and is like an insulator for the electromagnetism to, move? I mean, it would, because that would explain, because we got a lot of magnetic shit going on right now. So, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, and I don't even know why I thought what would make me think of something like that. Time flowing with an being an insulator for an induction line. But anyway, I hope I gave you some positive feedback. That's something that you could, maybe process and let me know what you think. Uh, and to my other 9 subscribers, um, uh, I hope you are can grasp what I'm saying. Most time, for most time, I think you can. But, I can get out there, but yeah. Food for thought and peace out.